Hey everybody! Ready for another video today. Let's get right down to it. If you're new to the channel, this is actually a little bit different than everybody else. I'm a review, but I draw what we are reviewing. And today, it's not really a review. It's more of me telling you, you need to buy this comic. SuperSons is fantastic, and you need to buy it. And I'm going to explain to you why. Though I'm trying to keep this shorter than my other videos because I've been suggested they're a little bit long. So let's shorten them down to 10 minutes and let's see me crank out another ink picture. This time it'll be Damien from SuperSons and Batman. You know, he's everywhere. So let's get right down to it. For anybody that hasn't been picking up a comic book or hasn't been following a lot of DC, or if you just need some information, SuperSons is a series based around Robin and Superboy combining powers and becoming a superhero team. If we think about it, it's kind of like this. Superboy and Robin are the sons of two of DC's greatest superheroes. So they will become the greatest heroes of all time one day, and they would become an unstoppable force if working together. Thus, Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, everybody knows that, why am I saying that, and Superman, Clark Kent, decide that their sons should work together immediately now and learn to spark up a friendship and gain a bond. So when the time comes that the world really needs them most, they'll be ready for it. The issue is, though, that Damien and John do not get along for multiple reasons, and the series is mostly focusing on them learning about putting aside their differences to work together, something that I think sometimes in the present day we do need more of, because we seem to shun each other out for our differences and viewpoints and other things. The whole entire series is beautiful, and it's very different. Like I said, they're not friends. And if you look at other superhero comics where they do team-ups or they're doing like a super squad or something, they're usually always besties. People just immediately are friends for no apparent reason except we work with each other. And I'm pretty sure that when we go to work, we're not friends with every single one of our coworkers at points. We'll have a job where we don't like anybody in the room. And this kind of shows a more realistic feel, along with why these two don't get along. Damien Wayne, as we all know from the comics, he's very pompous, he's a know-it-all, he's a smart aleck, and he's got a large ego. Like this hair I'm drawing. He's not the greatest person to hang out with. Though he's trying to change, he still comes off as very arrogant. And this gets on John Kent's nerves a ton. And John himself is inexperienced. He doesn't know everything, and he's still learning heavily what to do in situations. He just learned how to fly in the latest issues. For a while, he didn't know how to fly. He didn't know how to do this and that. He just gained super breath. So he's very inexperienced. He is not in the field, and it's great. It's fantastic, because him and Damien can work together so well, but they don't. They hate each other because of one's attitude and the other's inexperience. And it makes it even more endearing because they're slowly trying, for the sake of their parents and for what's at stake in the future, they really are trying to put aside their differences to become friends in some form of the word. Which is just phenomenal. And the artwork is spectacular. Like, check it out. It sometimes reminds me of an anime feel. Like, when I look at it, it does remind me of Naruto in some ways. And I think that the artist is a fan of Naruto. I think I saw some fan art on his Twitter at one point. I could be wrong. But it's got a slight anime feel to it, which works really well, especially because it's a comic about children. Well, kind of children. They're like teenager kids. You know what I mean. And it works so exceptionally well because that's what shonens are all demographics for, young boys and young kids. So it gives off this better feel of emotion and so forth, are just shown on every single page. It's great. And the characters are fantastic. Let's face it, Damien is not always the most enjoyable person to read about at points, because he's arrogant, and a jerk, and he comes off as I said, a know-it-all, and sometimes you want to wring his little neck. But the thing is, that's a kind of a breath of fresh air. Instead of being a little Mary Sue, they show he has flaws and problems, and there's always somebody there to kind of put him down a peg. That's what John is supposed to do in the series. He's supposed to show a little bit more of humanity and friendship and the more heartwarming side. Because let's face it, you're a kid of Batman, you're not always going to be lovey-dovey. But if you're the kid of Superman, you're definitely going to be able to pull out some kittens out of trees, and you're going to love it. You're going to love every moment. You're going to totally go help that old lady cross the street. So yeah, that's where they have a different aspects, thoughts, and so forth, and it's beautiful because of that. They're showing their differences and their problems, and they are becoming more sympathetic to one another. And it's just starting out. The series is brand new. You can still jump on it and just have a good time. In fact, you can jump on at any point in the series and have a good time. And you can even jump on probably on a Batman series or a Superman, and they'll even reference it. One of, let's see here, the debut of it actually showed up at Superman 10, where Damien and John first met, which was Damien causing mischief, and then causing conflicts. But, and then issue 11 was about the two learning to work together after the two angered their fathers. And so, but the great part about it is that they were supposed to work as a team together to acquire back their super suits and weaponry. The thing is, they failed. They failed at every moment because they don't work together. But the parents knew that their kids would be able to work together and combine powers if they knew something big was on the line. So they pretended that they were in trouble, so Robin and Superboy would put aside their differences to kick major butt. And they did, and that was fantastic. Especially the part where Alfred's like, I think they're ready! And Bruce and Clark are like, I don't know if they're really ready. They kind of like messed up on everything. They're like, nonsense! They will be the SuperSons! And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love you, Alfred! Because I really love Alfred. In fact, he's a big part of this series, too. In a previous issue of the series, John is ticked off at Damien. And Damien, of course, doesn't really care because he's just a kid to him. And they get into a fight. But it's great because Alfred points out this is kind of what your fathers used to do when they were much younger and in their early years to get fighting crime together. That they never got along. They always constantly clashed. But they learned to be best friends because they get to see different viewpoints from one another. Alfred is the best for bajillion reasons, and this is one of them. Just because he is sitting down and he is trying to tell them that you guys are just like your fathers. And if your fathers can literally put aside their differences and work together and become a great team and make the dang Justice League and defeat people like Darkseid, then there should be no reason you can't. Alfred is awesome. I can make a video about Alfred. I love him. So that is about it, guys. See here. Wait, we gotta go and put a little bit more color on the mask. Then again, we're just working with ink, so we're just gonna go and take a small pen. That's not a small one. That's not a small one. Well, I'm just sucking at this. Here we go. But yeah, definitely go check it out. They release them, I believe it's one of the series that is released only once every month, but it's well worth it. It is $4. It's a bit pricier than other comics made by DC. It is average price from Marvel, so you know it's the $4 range. But it does, I believe now they are coming out with digital codes inside, so you get that for it, which is totally worth your money, especially if it's a good comic, and it is. Do check it out. You won't regret it. This has been another sketch.